Alright, we're back on gaming. You know what? It's not that bad of a week. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alright? You still have your stuff where the companies are trying to screw you. You still got this gaming media. Not too many gamers. Not much gamers, alright? There's actually some positives for gamers, alright? In our community. However, the gaming media has, once again, you just keep proving us right, don't you? Just keep proving us right. Because we've said it before, we say it again. Your so-called morals and backlash is a bunch of bullshit. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Once again, you are not needed. You embarrass yourselves every time and you prove us right. So, we will start with the gaming media today. I am so sick of this. So, for those who don't know, this new visual novel, and I'm going to talk about this shit, alright, when it comes to visual novels. Visual novel, this lady killer in a bind. Okay, let's talk about this, alright? Because apparently, it's an erotic visual novel that apparently, the SJWs are okay with. That's right. So, they've decided to praise this game to the moon. The hypocrisy of this is not only disgusting, it's on so many levels it's disgusting, the hypocrisy. Because let's be honest here, alright? When these other games came out, you made it a big deal because of character design and misogyny and sexism, blah blah. You made all these narratives which didn't really exist to get yourselves on, right? And they get something you can fight for. The morals, the outrage, they need to take away the violence, they need to take away the sex. And what happened? Dead or Alive came out. The beach volleyball or whatever. And you freaked out. Because you were telling gamers, it's time for them to grow up. Then when you saw just a little bit of cleavage in a bikini, you freaked out, right? So who really need to grow up? It's time to be adult, right? So now this game comes along, and it's an erotic visual novel. And I want to talk about this because Ars Technica wrote an article saying that this game is, this visual novel is going to help gaming. It's going to push gaming. That's what they say. Okay. That's the bullshit you want to throw, because you want to protect your people. I understand, and I'll get to that in a minute, okay? So let me get this straight. Years ago, when the Metal Gear visual novel came out, alright? That didn't help push gaming, huh? That didn't help push gaming. Matter of fact, when Peace Walker came out, and they showed you, Kojima showed you, alright, look, if you can't afford cutscenes in your games, you can always go this interactive comic book style way. You would thought they would say, hey, that could help out gaming, right? That type of style can help out gaming. No, you didn't go there. But apparently, this visual novel is going to help out gaming. This erotic visual novel is going to help gaming. Now, first screenshots that I cannot show you, alright, because if those who haven't seen it, I mean, this goes into rape. This goes into people just sucking a dick. I mean, not just sucking a dick, but sucking a dick just to suck a dick. I mean, munching on the motherfucker. Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you can't tell me that you can get triggered off of girls in bikinis, right? But then when it comes to full-blown showing it, sucking a dick, you're okay. Why? Because it's their own people making it. That's why. It's one of their own making it. So now, it's okay. If you weren't in the, this whole cool kids club, then it was a problem. Then they're going to scream, sexism, misogyny, the game should be banned. We saw that Dead or Alive. It should be banned. Keep it over here in Japan, blah, blah, blah. We saw that, did we not? Matter of fact, we just saw the freak out over the fake, chocolate starfish whole thing when it came to Nier Automata. I will talk about that later as well. But also understand that when it comes to their own, all the rules don't matter. All their moral preaching doesn't matter. Matter of fact, with this game, of course, we knew that the Game Journal's Pro list was real. We know that they would contact each other and say, hey, we need to promote this, have the same thing over and over and over again. And yes, it's begun happening. Because if you did a Google search or any type of search, you can see it for yourself. At this point, the gaming media has shown that you can't rely on it, that it has zero credibility, and they always, it's like I said before, it's backstabbing, it's very snake-like. It really is. If you haven't realized it. Like I said, it's okay to shout down people when it comes to their moral compass, but when it comes to their own people making this type of stuff, yeah, we'll give it a pass because, we're in control. Like I said, it's never been about feminism. It's never been about sexism, misogyny, or too much violent video games. It's always been about control. That's always what it's been about, and them making a buck off of it, and taking a situation and saying, how can we use this as a business tactic and keep ourselves in the limelight? That's always what it's been about. If you cannot see that, like I said, I'll give you even further proof, for this, all right? Because if you're going to, shout down dead or alive, right? And you've been making it very well known, we don't want this type of stuff in our video games. How many video games have we seen not too long ago have been changed or modified or censored due to the fact when they're coming from over the east to the west? How many have we seen? We've seen so many complaints over it, right? When it comes to character designs and stuff like that. So, because of this, and like I said, we're gonna move on. Still more info, more proof of this. The FGC. For those who don't know, Arcana Heart. That's right. Coming out new Arcana Heart, and now this SJW's shouting down has started to affect developers. That's right. Developers are now asking the fans over in the West, do you have a problem with our character designs? Because they're afraid that if you have a problem with the character designs, they're not going to make any money. And developers shouldn't have to ask that. It's their creation. They should be able to make the character design the way they feel they should. You know what I mean? But the way things are going these days, when it comes to them being so triggered and so upset, now it's taking toll on them, and they have to make sure that they're on pins and needles, and they shouldn't have to be. But this is what it's come to: the control of the gaming media. Now they're going to dictate how games are made or how characters look. You understand that? Fans, I understand fans. They should have somewhat of a say-so due to the fact that they're the consumers. They're buying your product. The gaming media isn't buying your product. No, they're looking to say whether your product sucks or not. And we've seen it before. The gaming media will take away points from your game if they don't like the fact that they don't like this character design, or this character is poorly represented, blah, 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 blah. That's what they do, if you haven't realized that as of late. I mean, should we bring up Dragon's Crown? All right, then. The fact is, they should not have a say-so. They don't deserve any type of control. And yet, right now, they're really controlling the business. And the business is just falling into it over and over. And for everything we've seen when it comes to these media types and how slimy pieces of shit they are, I'm still waiting for the gaming industry to say, okay, you know what? We fucked up by backing them or listening to them. What the hell were we thinking? But still, no apology to the community, to the consumers that they need to survive. Nope, not at all, whatsoever. Right now, this is fucked up. It really is between, like I said, bridging this gap between the community and developers are still in the way because you have the gaming media driving a wedge and trying to push division to keep this going, if you haven't realized it. Let's move on, shall we? I want to talk about more of the FGC. For those who don't know, there's some news. Tekken 7, apparently there was rumored there will be a February release for Tekken 7 for the PS4 and PC. That's not real. Harada came out and confirmed that is not real, so we will have to sit and wait and see how long it's going to take. But it will not be out in February, okay? Also, in more news, Injustice does get a release date. That's right. Injustice 2 has a May release date, so we will see what happens. Hopefully, Mortal Kombat doesn't go the way of the Dodo Bird due to the fact that Injustice is coming out. I'm sure a lot of people will start playing Injustice 1 again to get back into the swing of things, but I'm really hoping that the NetherRealm community can be able to manage both games. You know what I mean? As we know, in the past they haven't been able to. They abandoned one for the next. Hopefully they can juggle both. Also, in more fighting news, which is just, you've got to be kidding me. Street Fighter V, I'm so tired of talking about Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V Glitch returns, setting players back to Season 1 when they play. That's right. Now, let's get something straight here, alright? This game is almost a year old, right? Almost a year old. And you're still having these problems. You're still having these problems, Street Fighter V. You cannot tell me that this is okay. Hell, even the writer of the article that I will put in the link in the info bar, oh my god, even he goes on saying, you know what, these days, it's hard to defend Street Fighter V. And he goes on to say that even the pro players can't defend Street Fighter V. Matter of fact, to show you what we're talking about, let's look at PR Balrog as it happens to him randomly, while he's on Twitch.
Yo, this shit is ass. Come on.
Jesus Christ, that lag. Seriously, like, almost a year into this, and you're still having these problems. Look, let's get something straight. For what we're hearing about this problem when it comes to resetting players back to Season 1, they're saying it's randomly. Others are saying that it's because of Balrog. His screw-upper apparently has been changed the way you command it. The prompt has different from Season 1 to Season 2. That's what triggers it back to Season 1, apparently. But, like I said, there's no hard confirmation on that, but that's what people are saying, that's what it is. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the info bar for you when it comes to the actual article. But you've got to be kidding me that Capcom is still having these problems. Like I said before, if you still like this game, by all means, it's okay you like the game. I'm not going to jump on you for liking the game. But these problems, they have to be acknowledged and they have to be fixed. You cannot tell me almost a year later they're still having these type of hard problems. You can't tell me that. Like I said, and within everything that you've seen the previous couple weeks of calling fans haters and all this other stuff, this is what you should be addressing. This. You can't sit here and say, oh, we got some good stuff coming up for you from 2017. Yeah, they got some good stuff for you. Sending you back to Season 1. Like, come on. Come on. And then to promote it, you're nothing but a bunch of haters. Yeah, nothing but a bunch of haters. But guys, it's sending us back to Season 1. It doesn't matter, you're a hater. This is what I mean. It's absolutely stupid. It's absolutely immature. And as far as I'm concerned, listen, everybody's like, this sucks. Yeah, it does. Look at it. You can't tell me that that's okay. It doesn't matter if you like the game or not. That is unacceptable. It just is. Especially when you're playing on PS4, you pay for your product, you pay for the game, you're paying for the season pass, I guess. You're paying for the DLC, the alternate costumes that they charge you up the ass for. And then on top of it, you're paying for the PS4 connection to play online. So all these things you're paying for, and that's what you get? No. No. Not at all. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Don't come to me and tell me that any of that is okay. Alright? And more news. That's right. For those who don't know, ESL is hoping to use Leicester Haymarket Theatre as an esports arena. Apparently, they're getting ready to redo this theater, and they're going to bring esports over to the UK. That's right, so it'll be ESL UK. That's right. We'll see what happens with that. I'll keep an eye on it. But this just sounds really weird that they're doing that, transforming an entire theater and then say, hey, we want to use it for esports. We'll see what happens with it. Like I said, people in Leicester can more likely fill me in on this, you know what I mean? Because, of course, it's across the pond. It's not like I can really, get in there like, ooh, what's going on? They'll have to let me know what's going on and then I can talk about it, Anyways, that's all the fighting game news I have for today, actually. It's pretty short, isn't it? But I will say that I will talk about the fighting game of the week. Now, some of you have been asking this for a while. I've been asking for it. And you say, where's it at? Where's it at? And I haven't said anything. I've kept quiet times. There's times I've said, well, I have it on deck. And there's other times I've just completely ignored you because I didn't want to give it away on when I was going to bring it out. So, I guess we should talk about this game. For those who don't remember this game, and I'm sure those who've been wanting this, you're going to remember. You're going to have fun with this one. For those who don't remember, or if you've never played it, I would say, please play this. And yes, it deserves a remake. Let's talk about Weaponlord. Something here, alright? Well, going back and watching this footage, I'm like, wow, I remember all the times that I played 90% of the game with core. I remember, like, wow, did I really just use core that much when I was watching this video? I'm like, wow. Like, yeah, it's one of those things where you tend to forget these characters. And, of course, we can also bring up, wow, there's a lot of good female characters in the game, too. I remember, I put like this, watching the combos with Bane, I don't remember people doing that back in the day. So, apparently, I didn't play enough advanced players when it came to Bane. But, yeah, with core, that's all I used was core. So, it was like, seeing those combos was like, okay, I remember some of those combos I used to do, back in the day myself. But, man, that game brings back so many memories. And as far as I'm concerned, like I said, deserves a remake. I feel as though this game still has a lot of potential to do something that, I put like this, if you don't have to HD it up, alright? You can cel shade, you can do it like Guilty Gear style, and still be great with this game. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much that has evolved since those days that you can put so many more mechanics into the game and so much style into the game that it would be successful. It would. But yet, we're still here showing the old games, and we're still only praising only certain AAA games, which to me is just ridiculous. I mean, we get a big, maybe I'll say 9 games tops that people really praise, when we have so many games that are out there that can still, you know what I mean, stand the test of time. Now, of course, does this game stand the test of time right now? No, it doesn't. All right, that's what I said. It needs a remake. But there's other games out there that have come out just, last year. I keep saying, I have to say last year because 2016 is 2017 now. Last year, that just flew under the radar. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure there's going to be a number that fly under the radar this year. But it's just one of those things where I think a lot of people get stuck when it comes to corporate promotion. You know what I mean? Some are sponsored, so you can't say much to certain players. And then you have the advertising that is just, how much money they spend on this type of stuff. So, of course, they're only going to look focused on the one thing. Like, you can tell me right now that that this game, Weaponlord, is going to get a remake. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. It's going to be great. It's going to have all the bells and whistles. It's going to be a quality game, and will more likely be a quality game. But people will more likely ignore that because they heard the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. You know what I mean? That's just, and that's hard to. It's really hard to overcome that. It really is. It's kind of sad, and when I hear people talk about communities, and, well, they have their small communities here, and they should just be proud of what they got. No, your communities are supposed to grow. That's what keeps you in, the company's in business, and that's what keeps your community thriving. It's not, well, they have a certain amount of numbers. Almost like you're trying to cap a community when it comes to certain games. They have a certain amount of numbers, a certain amount of players. They're good. They'll just have to accept that. No, you never are supposed to accept that, okay, we're only this big. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to. It's amazing when people say that. It's absolutely pretty ignorant. But let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about Scalebound. That's right. Microsoft has canceled Scalebound. Now, a lot of people are saying that, there's no reason to buy an Xbox now because that was the exclusive I was looking forward to because of what was going on. I remember when I first saw Scalebound. What did I say? I was like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. It's platinum, yes, but I'm not interested. You know what I mean? When we saw it was like, okay, short-haired Dante again, pretty much being a smartass. That's pretty much what it was. I wasn't very interested in the game. We saw some of the stuff on it. Wasn't very interested in the game. Doesn't mean I don't want it to come out. You know what I mean? Like I said, just because I'm not interested in the game doesn't mean therefore I hate it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there are a number of people who were interested in the game. I put it like this. I'm hoping that Nintendo comes in, swoops in, and saves it. I really, we saw it with Bayonetta. You know what I mean? And Bayonetta 2 did great for Nintendo. I mean, high marks. It was a great game, quality game. And I'm hoping that, that this happens. Now, Microsoft, for them to say this was the best way to go about things, you gotta think, there's games that have been in production for years, on top of years, on top of years. Like, seriously, we just saw Final Fantasy come out, and look how long that took to come out, you know what I mean? There's been so many games that have been delayed in production for so long, and yet they still found their way out. I want to know exactly what happened with this game that Microsoft pulled the plug so early. I need to know. Because I feel, when you have a developer like Platinum, and don't get me wrong, I know there's people who don't like Platinum, and I know there's people who love Platinum. Personally, I'm a fan of Platinum. You know the quality that they bring at times, you know what I mean? And to see just get canceled like that, there has to be more to the story that we know. There has to be. It's crazy. So, of course, now we have the System Boy fan wars. They're fighting now over pieces of plastic. Your game doesn't have any exclusives. Our game does. Our system does. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And like I said before, if you're a grown man and you're still playing the system war, rhetoric, you should be ashamed of yourself because all you're doing is promoting, or actually what you're trying to do is get kids to pledge their allegiance to said console or to said company. You're actually, technically, without the suit on, you're being a suit. That's what you're doing. And it's pretty pathetic because these are from grown men acting like this. Grown men. I don't understand that. Pieces of plastic, grown men. Okay. I don't understand that. But hopefully Scalebound does find a home. Hopefully it does. Let's move on, shall we? NES. Let's talk about it. The NES Classic Edition has been hacked. That's right. Expanding games library to 84. Now, hackers have hacked this game and put pretty much more ROMs on it. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just get a bunch of emulators on your computer and play them there? What's the point of buying this part, this Nintendo and only getting, and then having to hack it to get 84 games? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I've shown you in the past when I had I had thousands of games on that, all emulators, and it was on that little small box. You're actually getting a Nintendo system with only, what was it, like, it came with like 32, 35 games, something like that, and then people hack it, and then that's 84 games, when you can get even more games than that on your computer. I don't understand the logic. I mean, granted, I understand the hackers did it just to take on the task, because they just want to see if they can do it. That's what they do. I'm fine with that. But, I just don't understand the purchase. I don't. I mean, that's just me. I mean, if you're not into emulating and all that stuff, and you want to buy it, maybe it's for nostalgia reasons. I don't know. Maybe you want to buy it. Fine. Whatever. Personally, I just don't see where. But there's more news. That's right. The NES system has been hacked, but as we know, Sega's getting ready to come up with their own Genesis-type version when it comes to their little small Classic Edition. On top of this, the SNES Classic Edition is coming. That's right. Nintendo is teasing. They have trademarked this SNES Classic, so they're teasing that this is coming. So we'll see what games are on the horizon with that. But if you've been part of NES era, you probably already have the carts, you probably already have the emulators, whatever. And of course, a lot of the NES stuff went over into PlayStation 1, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, and of course, if not, then you can always buy from the virtual store or whatever. Yeah, so. And more news about these little boxes coming out and playing games and stuff like that. As we know, Disney has come out with their own box. Now, it's weird because, as we know, Disney games were taking a hit for a while. Xfinity and all them, they were shutting stuff down. Did Skylanders shut down? I believe Skylanders had shut down. Something like that. I don't know. But those type of games where you need these little figures, because they were just add-on cash grabs, have now pretty much hit a rut. That's what they've done. For those who don't know, Disney is launching a $99 streaming box that plays movies, music, and their video games. I am sure they're going to make this into a subscription deal because everybody wants their own type of box, which makes sense when it comes to streaming due to the fact that people, like myself even, are getting tired of cable. Okay? And then buying the games and all that. Yeah, I get it. In more news. And this I have quite a problem with. Gears of War Judgment. Now look, this game cost $60 million to make. First off, why do you need $60 million to make a game that's on par with the fucking movie? But $60 million to make, right? It made back $100 million, right? Because fans of Gears of War, right? Okay, I don't have a problem with it making back its money. That's not my problem. But when you when you use $60 million and you still have a ton of problems with this game that fans are telling you that bought your game that's part of the $100 million that you got back, you need to do something about it. For those who don't know, looking online, hanging freezing problems in campaign and survival mode. Hosting is a problem, apparently. LAN is a problem, apparently. Crashing the game completely is a problem. You can't tell me that all these, like I said, I'm seeing this on forums. There's no way you can have all these problems and it costs $60 million to make. That's crazy. $60 million and you still have these type of problems. These games in the past worked pretty well, all right? And I know some people would say, well, in the past, some were broken, didn't get updates. Yes, but they didn't cost $60 million to make. You've got to be kidding me. And this is what I said, video games want to be Hollywood. And now we're seeing, the movie, take this movie-type aspect. So now, like I said, we said it before, voice actors are going on strike. The developers are now acting like directors, so now they get cocky. We've seen this before. It's ridiculous. You have your own award shows that no one really gives a shit about, just like the regular acting award shows that nobody gives a shit about, or the music award shows that nobody gives a shit about. Like, it's very just patting each other on the back. That's all it is. And what does that do for us? Nothing. Like I said, fix the game. But we're going to get all these awards, and we're going to win this. We don't care. Fix the game. You can't even do that. You know what I mean? Like, and speaking of movies, I guess we could talk about this right now. Uncharted, that's right. Uncharted finally has a script. And they're calling this script, literally, they're calling it a beast. They're saying that this script is going to do leagues for when it comes to leagues ahead of other video game movies and how it's going to help the video game genre, movie genre. That's what they said about Assassin's Creed, didn't they? And they didn't do well at the box office, did it? No. All right? Video game scripts are still bad. And for all the things, I remember we talked about this, didn't we talk about this in like 2010, 2011? They were trying to get Mark Wahlberg and all this. And Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what's going on with this movie. At this point, I don't care what's going on with this movie. This movie has been in such hell for a very long time. Uncharted is pretty much done. It's pretty much, like, the series is like, okay, we gave you this, we gave you part 4, we're about to give you the spin-off or whatever, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So, where do you go from here? And it's kind of sad that that's being, that now they're saying, okay, now we can do it. I guess it's best to wait for the series to somewhat end, so that you can get a good feeling for it, as opposed to what the Resident Evil movies have done, which they're just cherry-picking from piece here, piece there, and then just making up their own shit. You know what I mean? So, I guess that's best. But, of course, giving the track record of video game movies when it comes to live action, no. I have no faith in it whatsoever. Now, like I said, maybe the trailer will do better. Maybe the entire script will leak, and the script will leak, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll be there. Maybe it won't. Maybe gamers will start making fun of the damn thing before the game's even made. We'll see. You know what I mean? But it's just very sad to see that you're taking something that I personally enjoy Uncharted. I do. Granted, it has its flaws here and there, but you're getting what you're getting, which is a summer blockbuster action movie wrapped in a game. I mean, it's pretty much Indiana Jones. I know a lot of people used to call it Dude Raider. I won't call it that because I feel as though it is pretty much a younger version of Indiana Jones at one point, with some things here and there. You know what I mean? But still, I just feel as though this movie is not going to do well. You know what I mean? Just the fact that they hyped it up so quickly and said that this script is like I said, no. You got to show us something. You can't, nope. Can't get behind that. Anyways, in some bad news, we're going to get some bad news. I mean, if the Uncharted news was bad news. Mega Man 1 through 6 for the mobile, that's right. Apparently, it's not just bad, it's horrible. It shouldn't even be apparently thought of. I don't know what they were thinking. It's got audio issues, apparently. The enemy AI is completely off. Hit detection is off. When you get hit, the recoil isn't right. Like, there's a number of problems with these games. Like I said, how do you mess up an 8-bit game or even an 8-bit series on mobile? How do you do this? How is this even possible? I don't know. But apparently, this Mega Man 1 through 6 is not worth your money. It's getting poor reviews. People are really players are really citing the problems of this game. Do not waste your time or money on the mobile version. I know a lot of you are going to say, mobile, I wouldn't waste my time anyway on it. But still, do not waste your time on this. It's really that bad, apparently. So, and more bad news. Sad news. The developers behind Poncho haven't made a single penny from their game. That's sad. And they talk about, how it came out for said consoles and stuff like that. And they worked really hard, and now they had to take, different jobs, day jobs, in order to survive because they didn't make any money off of their product. That's really sad. But, developers, those developers are struggling, with their product, as opposed to other developers who are just rolling in dough and don't give a shit about their community because their promises haven't been fulfilled. Let's talk about it. Mighty number 9. Yeah. Mighty number 9. The backers are still waiting for their physical rewards. Still. That's right. Link will be in the info bar. The people who were contracted for this are still waiting for this stuff so they can send it out to the players. And right now, players are pissed. I mean, it's bad enough that they were already upset that they felt as though they got screwed for their money. The game was bad. A number of issues, not to mention the community manager drama. We see a ton of stuff. And now they're not getting their physical rewards. That's sad. That's just a shame. But you know what? I'm hoping that this shows you to be very careful next time to just give your money to an ideal. Let alone Inafune. I wouldn't give him my money after that. No. I don't care about Red Ash. I don't care about any of that. Nope. Inafune has screwed this community. He has. So, speaking of people that wants to screw you over the community, I guess we can talk about Mass Effect because EA and their bullshit. And they're bullshit, alright? For those who don't know. Mass Effect Andromeda won't have a season pass. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, alright, that sounds like a good thing, so it shouldn't be that much. But guess what? Still going to have DLC. So now you're thinking, okay, well, it's going to have DLC. I wonder what the prices for DLC is going to be. And if it's going to be a lot of DLC, why wouldn't they give us a season pass to bundle it, to be cheaper? You could see it that way. You could, alright? But the fact they're going to hit you with DLC. Oh, not to mention, people, for those who don't know, Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, the multiplayer, because the media has been so much of it talking about the multiplayer beta is coming to hype you up, to reel you in. The multiplayer beta is coming. The multiplayer version of Mass Effect Andromeda will have microtransactions. I'm gonna let that sit there for a minute. So DLC, microtransactions. Yep. But the beta's coming. You should get hype. Speaking of hype, I guess we can talk about some other games that are actually good. That's right. For those who don't know, there's been a number of demos that have come out as of late, and I actually had a chance to get my hands on one and play it. That's right. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I want to talk about this beautiful nugget of a game. That's right. I've had a chance to play Nier Automata, and as far as I'm concerned, this game is quality. Now, of course, there were some drawbacks to this game, and there's some inconsistencies to the demo, but mind you, it's still a demo. So when I went to this demo, there's a number of things I wanted to test out first, okay? I wanted to see if there was any destructible environments. There were no, destructible environments, none whatsoever. I wanted to see how far the design would let you go, if it was just for aesthetics, or it was just, the design would let you do certain things, how much freedom you had in the game. So, there was times where I walked over to an edge where it was just an open area, so it's like, okay, if I jump off of this, I'm going to die. Wouldn't let you. Tried to jump, tried to move, it was just an invisible wall there. It was like, nope, you're not going anywhere. So, pretty linear when it comes to where you need to go. The battle, alright, fight mechanics, I don't have a problem with whatsoever. Dashing on R2 feels a little weird, but I understand you want R1 to fire. I get it. You know what I mean? I rather would have had L1 to fire, but regardless, I played on the way they set it up. Didn't have much of a problem with the game playing it. I really want to get back into it in depth for it. I'll put it like this: the enemies weren't hard, but I'm sure if I play on a harder setting, because I believe it was easy, normal, hard, and very hard. I didn't play it on very hard, so maybe I'll go and test that out. I'll probably get destroyed in that. But those little robots piss me off because they're just fodder. They do nothing but serve just to get you out, just to be in your way, to get a feel for the mechanics, and to level up. That's all it's for. So you can tell what they're for. The little orbs that they shoot out at you, granted, you can slash them or whatever, but when you have multiple orbs, and anyone who's played this demo, there'll be 20, 30, 40 orbs coming at you at once. You really just have to dash. You really have to. And what sucks about the orbs is, this is what I've realized. There was times where I would be in the middle of a combo. You launch an enemy, and you're doing your combo, and those orbs are following you. It doesn't matter at times. Them orbs are going to follow you. And granted, I understand that you have that assistance, so you can, take those shots with the firing while you're doing other things. It can survey the area for you and take care of other enemies while you're doing other stuff if you keep the lock on. I get it. You know what I mean? So it gives you a number of various, combinations that you can do, which I don't have a problem with. Now, the problem with the orbs is that maybe my reaction time sucks, but I was just like, son of a... You know what I mean? I was never in a time where I felt that I was in danger of dying, but still, I was just like, it just kind of disrupted me from doing a combo. I'm like, you son of a... You know what I mean? And there's times where I would dash because I would see it coming, and sometimes I wouldn't, it wouldn't dash. There was times where, as you know, the robots also have this weird swinging motion, and they tip you off because, depending on the difficulty you're playing on, I believe that, because there's no lock on, I believe in, was it Very Hard or something like that? So the enemies kind of have this red warning label, warning before they, do something. But so you know when to move. So your dash is pretty apparent what's going on. It's pretty much Bayonetta. It's pretty much what it is. And is that a bad thing? No. Now, I will say that the bosses in this game, man, you want to talk about an adrenaline rush? That's what you want in the game. If you're going to play a demo, that's how you sell somebody in a demo. You know what I mean? The big monsters they're bringing to you, the big robots, these bosses, it's like, bruh, I'm for this. I am. It's just amazing. Now, I will say this. the script was kind of weak in the beginning because it had some inaccuracies. 2B is telling her partner, you can't get too emotional, because he's like, I really, enjoy, working with you. And she's like, don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. It's not part of the play. You can't get emotional. Then by the time the end of the demo, she's like full on emotion, like, no, don't tell me what to do. Shut up. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do what I want. I'll handle it. I'm like, you are just full of emotion, aren't you? After telling people not to be emotional. So there's kind of an inaccuracy there, you know what I mean? Given the situation that was happening, understandable, but they are supposed to be robots, right? Or androids or something. So, to see that type of emotion come out, I was just like, didn't expect that, because it's kind of, going against what she said just 10 minutes ago. So, yeah. So, either way, I love the battle mechanics in this game. I love the fact they made you take on that big robot. They give you this aerial assault, which of course transforms into a plane, which also turns back into almost like a small Gundam. And you have these battles, and you know what? I'm for this. The cutscenes were beautiful, and you know what? I like this. You know when you're doing something right when it comes to the flow of battle. That even when the cutscenes, I'm staring at the cutscene because I'm not sure if they're going to have me, attack me in the middle of the cutscene, and I have to evade or something. You never know. So my eyes are glued to the screen the entire time. So you want that type of engagement because you never know. You don't want to get tired, slack off or get a little comfortable, and all of a sudden you get bodied. You don't want that. So you constantly have to be paying attention when it comes to these type of games. I really enjoyed it. I really did. And that ending, I'm not going to give away the ending, but that ending, yeah, that's how you sell a demo. So as far as I'm concerned, Nier Automata comes out March 7th. Really great demo. I'm hoping that a lot of other people have played it. If you haven't, by all means, please give it a chance. It's a really well done demo. I mean, the mechanics aren't that hard. Light slash, hard slash, action, jump. You get your lock on and stuff. It's still, you know what I mean? It's stuff that you play if you play a lot of hack and slash. But this game is really fun. And I feel as though for what they've done with it compared to the older Nier, which I really hope that they either make an HD version. Do you really need an HD version for the older Nier? But bring it back out. And I'm not saying the U.S. version. I couldn't stand the U.S. version. I talked about this before, all right? About how, because they changed the character, because they wanted, the older, more muscly guy because of the West, No, bring back the, the Japanese version. That's all, bring that back. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a big fan of this game so far. And I would like to play more demos. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start playing more demos, and I'll have my opinions on them, my impressions on them. In the videos, unless you guys and girls want to see me do a video simply of demos and impressions and breaking it down on what I feel needs to be addressed and things of that nature and what I liked and disliked about it. But if that's the case, then we're going to push these videos back, the gaming videos back, at least every 2 weeks instead of every week, because that video will take that place. You know what I mean? Because you got to think sports video, then I got to do the stream and all that other stuff. So it's up to you, whether you guys and girls what you like to see. You know what I mean? But I think next week I'll tackle Gravity Rush too. I think I'll tackle that. So either way, still a fun game. Can't wait for it to come out. That was very, very fun. Let's move on to more news. Sad news. All right. EverQuest. I know a lot of you think EverQuest. Wow, we talking about EverQuest? Yes. Landmark servers to shut down next month. That's sad. EverQuest. I used to play EverQuest back in the day. Wasn't much of a fan of EverQuest, as I was a big fan of Asheron's Call. For those who remember that, Asheron's Call. And it was Asheron's Call and EverQuest, but I was more drawn to Asheron's Call. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with EverQuest. I remember when I bought it for the I had it for the PC and the PS2. So I was playing the game, you know what I mean? Even had a monthly subscription. Like I said, I've played my fair share of games with monthly subscriptions before 2010 and was like, you know what I mean, this is bullshit, you know what I mean? And then you had all these other people who didn't, have that experience. It was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And we saw what happened with DC Universe Online. But, like I said, Asheron's Call, I can't believe that didn't stay around longer. You know what I mean? Like, really popular. But anyways, yeah, apparently they're going to shut down the servers next month. It's sad to see, because EverQuest fans deserve better. They do. I understand this game's been around for a very long time, but that's what MMOs are built for. They are built for longevity. They are. You know what I mean? So, either way. Let's move on. Let's talk about computer stuff, shall we? Steam. That's right. Steam will let you use a controller for every game in the incoming update. That's right. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. I feel as if anything, that should have been done a long time ago. For real. You know what I mean? I understand this. You say, no, if there's games where, you should just have to play with the keyboard and mouse. And I'm thinking to myself, how about you just give your gamers variety? This is the PC, era we're talking. And when I say era, I don't mean now, I mean forever. PC has always given you a variety. I mean, granted, back in the day, maybe 80s, early 90s, you couldn't use a controller. But as you know, that mid to late 90s stretch, especially early 2000s, we saw tons of controllers come out, PC version controllers. I put it like this. When you start playing Flight Simulator, 2000, all that type of stuff, don't tell me you're using a mouse and keyboard. And also, don't tell me you're using a controller. No, you better have yourself a flight stick. All right, so like I said, we've always had variety. We always have. So I'm not trying to hear that all of a sudden games are going to be ruined because controller inputs are now. You know what I mean? If you favor, specific preferences of mouse and keyboard, that's fine. I'm not getting on you for that. If you favor controller, that's fine. Not getting on you for it. It's your preference. But the option of that preference should have always been around. Okay? Let's move on, shall we? In sad news again, because what the hell? This came out of nowhere. Amazing Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been pulled from Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live Digital. That's right. What the hell's going on? What is going on? I don't want to hear licensing. We talked about this before. Buying games digitally. I mean, we're still trying to get Scott Pilgrim back. But buying games digitally and then they go offline. Or getting the game and playing it online, then the servers go offline. Then you're stuck with what? Nothing. And before you say, well, there's single player. Do I need to remind you of MAG? Do I need to remind you of MAG? Okay. The fact is, games that are stuck with, when their main focus is multiplayer, you can't take these things away. When you're sitting here promoting digital and giving these high prices, which, mind you, we talked about before, was supposed to be, we're not going to charge that much because of manufacturing cost of physical. Now it's digital, and you're still charging them up the ass. It's not cool. To just pull it from a store. All around. Just pull it. Crazy. In more news, I guess I'll end this because this is the last bit of news. I will end this on a high note because we have talked about this before time and time again, and now it's coming. That's right. Shenmue HD. That's right. A domain has been registered by Sega Europe. For those who don't know, they've been talking about, they said it was going to be a no-brainer day, but they have to do another Shenmue HD and Shenmue 2 and all that before Shenmue 3 comes out. But we've talked about this a long time. Why haven't you done it? Matter of fact, it even really picked up a lot of steam when Shenmue 3 was announced. Or, say, we're going to have a Kickstarter. Okay, so what about the other ones? Where is it at, Sega? And Sega kept quiet the entire time. Now Sega is saying, yep, we were going to do it all along. I don't know about that. Because the decisions that you've made for a while, Sega, we didn't know if you had enough brains to think that this was going to be okay. I think you just waited to see if Shenmue 3 was going to do well, and then when you saw all that money coming, you was like, okay, we may have something here. Instead of giving the fans for years what they wanted. So I don't want to hear you taking credit for it. Alright? But I welcome Shenmue HD with open arms. Shenmue 2, open arms. Bring it on. This is what people want. And we want to see how this is going to end. Or maybe this won't be the end of Shenmue. Because if it does well, who says we won't get a Shenmue 4? We don't know. We will see what happens. Anyways, that is done. All the news, like I said, hasn't been that much bad news for our community, but you have to also understand the companies are trying to get you. You also have to understand this media, they have to go. They have to. And it's amazing because the same people who hate this media are the same people who still go to their websites and still send me stuff from a Polygon, from wherever. Like, come on. Y'all know better than this. There are a number of sites out there that have been for us, and they may be smaller sites, but they still give you the same news. The same news. Stop feeding the beast. Stop feeding the machine. Seriously. Because they'll sit here, they already told you that gamers are over and that you're dead, and you still went to go talk. You still went to go give them clicks. Didn't you? Yeah. And now they're pulling, like I said, their moral outrage is bullshit. It is. Because they'll make exceptions. They draw a line in the sand when it comes to people they don't know. And you gamers, you're just nothing but a bunch of sexists anyway. Talk about the whole community. Talk about other developers that they don't know. Oh, what? My friend made this? Goes against everything and what? Okay, I'll give it a pass. That's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. Anyways, people, by all means, please, have fun with your games. Try to have fun because, like I said, this news, I understand, it can get depressing. It can be bullshit. It can get ridiculous. I understand that, all right? But try to have fun with your games. But like I said, please, if you haven't played Nier Automata, play Nier Automata. You know what I mean? Please, play it. It's a great demo. It is. Like I said, I'll be doing more demos more often. But like I said, I want to leave it up to you, the fans, whether you rather see a demo impression video, standalone, or just add it into this. Anyways, I will talk to you later. Y'all be safe. Next week, we back on it. Talk to you then. I'm out.